All right. I want to say we are live now. Hey, everyone. So, welcome back. I just wanted to share with you if recent events that have been going on around the world and right in your backyard has really put a damper, has really been heavy. I just wanted to come and share with you that there's a reason that you're going through this. And it may not be what you think it is. And I'm going to bring you back to where it should be. Now, bear with me, stick with me in this. We're going to dive into the human experience and why so many people feel disconnected from God. So stay tuned. I know this is going to be an impactful message, and I definitely want to be able to share it with all of you that are connecting here. Okay, you guys, welcome back to another episode of You Are Meant for More. I am your host, Francina Ayala. I am an empowerment coach and speaker, self-love, transformational speaker. I am all about connecting you to your divine purpose so that you are moving in His Spirit. Okay, now we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so my apologies if that was a delay for you. I don't know what happened. It just didn't want to start. But thank you for sticking around and joining. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my notes, and I want to make sure that you're really tuned in to what is happening and what is going on around you and how you can continue to stay grounded and what the purpose is in your life so that you can continue to connect to God. And I'm going to share a little bit about my own experiences with Him because I understand where you're at, and I understand if you're feeling any type of way, shape, or form about the surrounding news, politics, whatever that may look like for you, and how to stay at peace. Okay? So bear with me. If you're joining me live, let me know. Say you're here. I love when you guys join me live. Ask questions. If there's anything that comes up for you during this episode, please share. And if you're catching this on replay, I still want you to do the same. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know any questions that you may have, and let's dive in. All right, you guys. So we're living in a time where people are divided, they're exhausted, confused, and spiritually tired. And today's conversation isn't about politics, opinions, or sides. It's about understanding the human experience and how God uses it to bring us back to Him. And the reason why I wanted to share this message today was because yesterday was a heavy day for me. Yesterday, I just was not feeling myself. No matter where we are as a person in our business, in our careers, however, we can have the perfect family, whatever you want to look at and how you want to see yourself. It's just sometimes there's those days that really come back to you and feel really heavy. And yesterday was one of those days. And so now I'm completely honest. You guys know I'm transparent here. I will always tell you the truth. I was not connecting to God. I was just like, I'm feeling it. I'm going through it, and I will, deal with it on my own. And you know how many times like we try to do that as humans, and it's funny because it never happens to our liking. God's always like, get back over here. So present loud and clear, looking forward to it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Will. I appreciate you. So yes, we are going to understand who we are as humans and who we are in our spirit form with God. So stay with me, okay? All right, so let's talk about what's really happening. People aren't disconnected from God because they stop believing. They're disconnected because the world is so loud, painful, and overwhelming. Political polarization, cultural division, identity confusion, economic pressure, mental health exhaustion. All of this keeps the nervous system in survival mode. So if you feel like you've been in survival mode for the past, how long has this been going on? Maybe, who knows? It could be going on your whole life. But for the past 2 to 3 years, like seriously, that's how it's felt, because we had the recession going on, we had political uproar happening. There's just a lot going on, and there's just so much noise out there that sometimes it's hard, because being from someone who comes from a place of love, and to see what's happening out there with all of the deportations and things like that, it's heartbreaking. It really is hard to see. And so many people take to social media, and it's like, your silence is known, or something like that. And it's like, understand that the people that choose to be in silence know how to come from a place of love and peace. And what's funny about that is that may not be understandable to people who are angry and are filled with so much rage. And that's where I'm just like, okay, God, like, how do you want me to present this? Because people don't want to listen, and people don't understand that it's coming from a place of emotional well-being. And again, nobody's perfect. And I'm not trying to, preach here and say that I'm perfect, I know everything, because I promise you I don't. But I know that he'll continue to utilize me in a space of love and peace. And the thing is, when you give your emotions and your responses to the outside world, they take your power. They completely take your power, and you lose control over yourself. And so that's why I was like, okay, God, what is today's message going to be about? And he literally put into my heart, and he said the human experience and how to bring people back to me. And I was like, okay. So we aren't going to kick off our show, Amplify Your Voice, today, because this was a powerful message that he wanted me to share. And I was like, okay. So I want to share a little bit more about what he is, or what I've done for you all, so you kind of have like a little bit of a visual of what's happening. So I'm going to quickly share my screen, and then just bring up a quick little slideshow. All right, so let me go ahead and present. Oops, not share, present. There we go. Okay, and let me just make sure you guys are good here to see. There we go. And then I am here. No, that's not how I wanted to do it. Gotta love that. There we go. Okay. So the cost of ignoring our inner voice, like what is really happening, okay? Let me just make sure this is coming out correctly. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm literally trying to share this and speak to you at the same time. Oh, I know why. Okay. I'm telling you. This is great, isn't it? Okay, make sure it's there. Perfect. Okay, so the cost of ignoring our inner voice. There's this emotional exhaustion versus your inner peace. And so what happens is that, okay, we are human. We are in human form. And I know I've said this in the past, so you have to understand, like there's a reason why we are within these human bodies. But we have the spirit within ourselves to understand and be directed back to God. There's this emotional exhaustion going on because of the circumstances, because of past patterns, because of what we believe, what we grew up believing, the noise in our head from people around us, the news that's out there that's flooding us with their opinions. So it ultimately becomes emotionally exhausting for us to show up in a world that is divided, and to really show up in a place of love and peace. Ultimately, you're labeled as crazy. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you've been there, let me know. But it's like, when you just want to live of sound mind, of just connecting to your soul and your inner spirit, and just to share so much love out there, and that, praying for people, being there for people, and helping them understand that peace and that love is just profound, because that is literally what God has wanted us to do this whole time. And one of the things that I found is having that inner peace is knowing and growing with who He has positioned you to be in your life. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I bring people into this inner peace. Because what happens is, whenever they're approached or any type of situation that's going on around them, it doesn't affect them. Now, granted, it's heartbreaking when we see families torn apart and so forth, but it's we don't dive into a place of anger. We dive into a place of that peace, where we get to love on people and pray for them no matter what they're going through. And like I said, there's, I always bring it back to how Jesus was ridiculed, and how he was pretty much crucified for his beliefs, and how he was bringing people to God. And so you're going to get that in the outside world. But when you really start to understand who you are as a person, and how you get to show up for others, and how you get to be a blessing for them, but first it starts within, internally, that is when things change. But I want to remind you that you're not broken. You're not broken. You get to embrace your true self. You get to embrace the person that you've become and are becoming. But I also want you to remember that you're not alone in feeling this overwhelm. And it's time to acknowledge your emotions and reconnect with your authentic self through the power of self-love. So this is what self-love really is. It's embracing your emotional well-being. It's adding that grounding practice. It grounds and centers us, where it's helping to cultivate that inner peace and stability among this external chaos that's going on. And it's allowing us to align with our true selves and emotional needs. It has our divine connection. By fostering self-love, we connect with our divine purpose, enabling us to live authentically and embrace our unique contribution to the world with confidence and clarity. When I teach this self-love in my mastermind, it literally draws you to a place of confidence, so that you know who you are when you stand in front of people who are lost and overwhelmed and need guidance. And then, of course, there's compassionate awareness. Engaging in self-love is a practice of compassionate self-awareness, encouraging us to recognize our emotions without judgment, and promoting personal growth and understanding through gentle reflection. So understanding how to control your emotions, and how to show up in a world that's so divided, or in a world that has so much hate and anger in it, you get to be that grounding source that people find the light within. Now, of course, I launched the Self-Love Mastermind, and it's a community of like-minded professionals dedicated to personal growth. And you guys will hear more about it later, which is, something I wanted to share. But you all know I do this mastermind. And if you're catching my show for the first time, then you'll understand how I'm bringing people to this peace and this joy and this fulfillment in their life. And it's through guiding you to your divine power, because then there's emotional regulation. These are grounding practices to enhance your well-being. There's your spiritual connection. You get to explore practices that foster your inner peace. It was so funny, you guys, because this morning when I finally connected with God again, because I'll go times when I'm not connecting with him, and it's hilarious. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. Let me just come back here. And I'm just like, I know I should be in the Bible every day. And this is why I share this, because I'm not. I'm not, there's times when I just like, I get overwhelmed with what's going on, around me, work and things like that. I'm on the go. And then when he reminds me, I'm just like, oh, you're right. Let me get back in this, right? I'm like, I need to stay focused. And I share this because there's so many times that I'm just like, oh my goodness, you guys, I do not want to follow. I don't want to listen. It's like one of those like things like your parents, right? Your parents, some of you guys will hear your parents nagging at you and you're like, I don't want to listen. That's kind of like me and my relationship with God. And so when he told me about this today's message, I started laughing. I was just like, is this what you're trying to do? Because I've been silent and I haven't been listening. So he's like, here, go do what you need to do. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And like I've mentioned in the past, he knows how to connect to me because there's always this humorous type of connection that he has with me. And I'm just like, okay, fine. But the reason why I share this, again, I know it may be like, it may come off preachy, or it may come off like a little bit where people don't understand. I share it because he utilizes me because of my, how do you say, because of like my resistance. Because he knows I resist him, and he knows that so many other people do the same. So why does he use me? He uses me because he knows I'm going to share it authentically and transparently to get it across to you all. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up my notes again, but I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of, the information that I had put together. And let's go ahead and continue to dive into the notes. Okay. So when survival is loud, the spirit becomes quiet. So people assume God left when in reality, pain took the microphone. How many of you can relate to that? Okay. People assume God left when reality is pain took the microphone. You're going through it. You're in a season and you're just like, oh my goodness, why am I going through this? And the minute you start connecting, everything changes. Like I said, everything's going to change when you start connecting. We were never meant to live only as humans reacting to life. We are of him. Our spirit within us is designed to guide us. But many of us were taught to ignore it. When people stop listening inwardly, fear leads, anger reacts, opinions replace, discernment. I mean, come on. How many times has your opinion replaced your discernment? Still doing it, people. I'm going to share the reality of it. Survival replaces trust. And the truth is, confusion is not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of inner alignment. When the inner voice is ignored long enough, suffering increases. How many of you felt that? Are you going through it right now? Do you know somebody who's going through it? Yeah. This is where many people misunderstand God. They think pain means punishment. Pain means punishment. Oh, I'm in pain, so God is punishing me. But often pain is motivation. It's an invitation. Pain is an invitation. The human experience, the grief, the loss, the disappointment, the confusion is often what wakes us up spiritually, right? When everything is going great, are you in the Word? Are you talking to God and praising thanks and saying, thank you, God, I'm in gratitude and things like that? No, sometimes what happens is the human in us reverts to our old habits. Oh, I can do it on my own. I don't need I'm good. And not saying we don't need it. Multiple times. Yes, Will. Happens to me all the time. Have the moments where I go through it. We all go through it because we think our thoughts are better than what God has to offer. We think whatever comes to replay in our head is what and who we're supposed to be. It's how we're supposed to move. But no, it's not. It's the thing is, we have to stay connected to him Because the minute you start connecting in the Bible, in the Word, whatever it is, how you connect to Him, prayer, He will start to give you guidance. And I'm just like I said, yesterday was a heavy day for me, and I jumped in the Word this morning, and He just brought me back, and I was like, okay. And there was a message. There was a message for me to share. And I knew I should have brought it up, you guys, and I forgot to do it. But let me share what it was. So I'm going to quickly share it here because I didn't get a chance to download it for you all. Actually, I think I can even paste it. Let me try to paste it in here so that you all can see it. All right. Oops. Okay, I'll just leave it there. So this is in 1 Timothy, verse 2, or chapter 2, I should say, and then verse 1 through 8. And it says, I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. This is good and pleases God, our Savior, who wants all people to be saved and to come to a knowledge of the truth. For there is one God and one mediator between God and mankind, the man Christ Jesus, who gave himself as a ransom for all people. This has now been witnessed to at the proper time, and for the purpose I was appointed a herald and an apostle. I am telling the truth, I'm not lying, and a true and faithful teacher of the Gentiles. And it says, therefore, I want the men everywhere to pray, lifting up holy hands without anger or disputing. And so when I read that this morning, because this was today's message, there was an understanding of we all need to come together in a place of peace and quiet in our lives. And I was like, wow, that was really impactful. Your humanity is not a failure. It's the doorway. This is why I don't bypass emotions. I don't shame questions. I don't rush healings, because awakening doesn't happen through pressure. It happens through understanding. And that is the key, you guys. When you connect and you understand why things are happening, why you're showing up in a particular way, why you're responding to someone in a type of demeanor, or why they're responding to you that way, or how people treat you, or how you're showing up in the world, everything is linked. Everything is linked to our past, our human selves, and to our spirit. So how do you get to connect to the one divine and your purpose? You have to be willing to surrender. Okay? Most people still believe in God. They just don't feel close to Him. And why? Unanswered prayers, trauma, loss, betrayal, religious shame, silence during suffering. You guys, I don't know how many times I've suffered in silence, and the minute I talked to Him and told Him something or asked Him for help, He replied. But the thing is, what's going to happen, and I'm sure you've experienced it if you haven't, is you're going to connect to Him, and then you're going to be like, okay, well, it's not happening fast enough, or you know what, He's just not listening to me. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. So many people say that, I'm not good enough. But actually you are. You're everything He wants to receive. He just needs you to surrender. Because what happens is so many of us in the human form want to control the narrative. We want to control everything in our lives. And we think we know better. Right? So faith doesn't leave, it gets buried. That's basically what's happening. People are losing faith everywhere. And it's not there. It gets buried. And when pain isn't processed, it distorts your perception. Okay, so when pain isn't processed, it distorts perception. People don't walk away from God, they they retreat from disappointment. So they don't walk away from God, they retreat from disappointment. This is why spiritual psychology matters. This is why I dove into it so much. Healing the mind and the heart restores access to faith. You got to work on what's up here, and you got to block out anything else that is keeping you stuck where you're at. You have to stay focused on what God's plan is for your life. So, sorry, you got to stay here. You can't hear this, you can't hear this, you can't watch this, you can't watch that, because there's things all around you that are going to convince you that you're not good enough, that you're not, doing the right things in life. Whatever that may look like, it's going to continue to bring you down. But when you show up in a space of love and intention and accountability, and you're really connected to your spirit, your divine, your purpose, everything is going to flow together. You have to stay connected to Him. So this is where my own calling comes in. So God told me years ago, bring the people out of suffering. Not years ago, sorry, last year. And I was like, wait, what? Now, you guys, if you've been following me for a minute, you know that this is really hard for me to do, because it's like, what? You're going to, I never wanted to be preachy. I never wanted to come off as like, the old Theas back in the day that were all like, Christian and godly, but yet they didn't act like that. So when he tells me things, I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, I don't think you're talking to me. I laughed, you guys. I laughed. I didn't think anyone would believe me. I was like, God, they don't listen. And he's like, you don't listen. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I still laugh at it because, like I said, he gets me. Like, he gets me where it's good, right? But anyways, I didn't think anyone would believe me that he was talking to me. But now I understand. My assignment isn't to debate people or force belief. This is literally why I stayed still for so long. I stayed stuck. I stayed paused because I didn't want to show up and people be like, okay, yeah, okay, Francine, whatever. Granted, I'm sure there are still people out there that do that, but that's okay. I'm in a place of like love and confidence, and I show up as my best self. I'm not even going to say every day. I look to show up as my best self every day. It gets there about 90% of the time. How about that? My role is this: to walk people through the human experience. Okay? Let me hear that. Let me say that again. To walk people through the human experience until they can hear God again. Okay? They get to hear God in their head. And I'm not saying crazy, by the way. I'm like, God. Okay. I don't replace God. I walk with people until the noise clears and the spirit can lead. God wastes nothing. Not pain, not confusion, not doubt. He uses lived experiences as a pathway home. Okay? If you feel lost, you're not broken. If faith feels distant, you're not failing. You're human. And your humanity is not separating you from God. It may be the very thing drawing you back. Okay? If something is like anything is resonating with you, let me know. Post it in the chat. I'm curious, because you guys, I was trying to explain this to people, and I'm just like, it's weird because we have our spirit and then we have our human form. So there's a spirit and their human form. And I said, it's hard for me to speak about this because I know the spirit, I know the peace, I know the joy within. How do I share this to people so that they can understand that form of where God wants them to go? And so this is why he utilized me, because he knows that I'm going to share from a very authentic place. He wants you to understand, okay? So that's why he's put me into the role of spiritual psychology, so I can share the human experience. If you guys don't understand human behavior, I promise you, you will when you study psychology. Human behavior, okay? So mine is a spiritual psychology where I take the spirit of God and the understanding that humans know of psychology and put them together to bring you back to him. So I was talking to someone today and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I need to bring people to God, but I don't know how. It was just like, so then God's like, the human experience. So I told this person, I go, yeah, he told me the human experience. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And then, so I literally use, you know how sometimes we talk about ChatGPT? So sometimes like you talk to people and they're not quite understanding what you're trying to articulate. So I put it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT knew exactly what I was saying. I was like, yes, this is it. Because, you know, you guys, we all have different brains out there. Like today, I was in a meeting and the woman giving the presentation was showing me a presentation that my brain was like, that doesn't make sense. And then I was asking questions and she reworded it. She's like, yeah, this is how this happens. And she goes, yeah, my brain sees it this way. And I said, my brain saw it the other way. And so really understanding how people process information is good, right? Is knowing that you can connect to them on a deeper level too, because you get to understand how they're processing the information and how they're receiving it. Okay. Well, that's the same with me and how I get to share the human experience about what humans go through, our human emotions and our human way of life, and how we respond and how we do things in our lives that ultimately are not bringing us back to God, and how I can guide them and help guide you to get there. That is what it's all about. And this is why he wanted me to share this message today. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen just so I can finish off what I was sharing with you guys earlier and finish off this guide really quick. So give me a sec. Let me pull it up. Oh, did my screen stop sharing? Oh, that's odd. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's why. Share. Okay, here we go. Okay, where I was at. So, guiding you to your divine power, the spiritual connection, the purpose discovery, uncover what truly drives you forward. Supportive community, join a network of like-minded individuals. Now, this is me talking about the self-love mastermind and how you get to stay connected in all these areas, okay? Transformation journey, embrace your power. So I want you to step into your divine purpose as you release the burdens of the past, experience profound growth and alignment through self-love, guiding you towards a more fulfilling and empowered life. Who does not want that? Really helping you guys understand your true purpose. I love this picture. So, stories of transformation and empowerment. This is what I want to bring you all to be able to share the stories of your transformation, to show you how to feel empowered, to show you how you get to show up in a world that, you know, doesn't know what it feels like to be connected to the divine, to love, to peace, to joy, to happiness, and just to know that you are in the right mindset and in the right space in your life to move forward with the spirit and with what God has intended for your life. He's intended this for all of us. It's just we fight it. And that's why I say he wanted me to share this, because I too fought it. Okay, so embrace your divine path today. Of course, this is going to say join the self love mastermind to cultivate community and discover your true self. Okay. So understand that that's something that I want to be able to bring to you. Embrace your journey, because you guys all know that you were truly meant for more. And I want you to remember that. And this is why I do this. Okay. So I'm going to share really quick right here. I always do this. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm like, which way is my hands? So the Self Love Mastermind, you're going to see a QR code at the corner. You can join it. I'm doing them once a month for now. They may move to every quarter, once a quarter. So make sure you jump on this now. And I always tell people, the sooner you get in, the more beneficial it's going to be, because they are small group community calls. So it's going to be virtual, and you can join from anywhere you are at in the world. And then it's going to be the opportunity to learn and grow and be coached by me for 12 weeks. So I have an opportunity for the people that are coming in for the very first time. And we have what's called like a beta program, where you get to try it out for half the cost of what it's going for. And so I want you to really take advantage of this, have the opportunity to really grow in who you're meant to be, right? Now, granted, you can ask questions, you can get my advice on something, you can ask me anything. You guys know how to connect to me on social media. You know how to, send me an email through my website, things like that. I want to be able to support you as much as I can. But if you don't reach out, there's no way of knowing. And I want to make sure that I'm able to guide you guys through whatever questions or whatever experience you may be even experiencing, because people ask me questions all the time, and I'm able to respond in a place of coaching, in a place of peace and love and understanding for everybody, for wherever they're at in their lives. I can understand it. I can empathize with it. I can then guide them into their next phase or their next season in their life. And so that's what I'm all about, is to be here, to be a support system to those who are suffering. All right, you guys, I went ahead and put the link as well. So like francinaayala.com/self-love mastermind. If you guys go to francinaayala.com, you will see a link there as well. So please let me know if you're joining me live. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. And I'm going to wrap up a little bit earlier. And I know this is not beneficial for the show, but only because, you guys, I took care of my son for the last week, because for 5 days he had a fever of, the highest it went was 103. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I somehow in the process messed up my voice. So if you hear it, it's kind of going out now. And I don't want to wake up with no voice tomorrow. So please bear with me as I move through this. But just understand, you guys, I want to close it out. Let me pull up my notes, make sure that I covered everything. So the Self-Love Mastermind is happening this coming weekend. It's going to be 3 hours, and I really focus on the areas of self-love, self-worth, and forgiveness. And there's an opportunity to do my beta program. And the beta program, what it does, it's half the cost of a 12-week coaching session. It's a group coaching, and you're able to do it at half the cost and give me feedback. So you are going to be one of the first people in this course, and I'm just excited for you to experience it, and it's going to be life-changing for you. So I tell people, I'm like, if you're tired of how people approach you in a negative way, you're tired of people showing up in a space of judgment, or just kind of how they treat you, or if you really are looking for that next real relationship, friendship, showing up in a space of love, because that's where it all stems from. then you definitely don't want to miss this opportunity, this workshop that is going to help guide you through the process and uncovering who you are and how you get to step into your divine. Okay. So I want to leave you with this. In a divided world, God is still calling his people home. And sometimes the journey back begins with understanding the human experience. So remember that you're loved, you're a place of peace and understanding that people want to go to. You were the light to spread the good news for all to see. And always, always remember that you are meant for more because you're God's divine in this world. And so that's why I say you were meant for more, to bring out so much love and peace for all to see. All right, you guys? So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I will see you next week. If there's a particular topic you want me to cover, just shoot me an email, send me a DM on social media. Today, really quick, I heard one of the ladies I was on a call with. She's like, "Send me an IM," and I giggled because I'm like, "Oh, I haven't heard IM in a long time." And if you're over 40, you know what IM is. So yes, I do. All right, you guys, thank you again for joining this show, and let me know your feedback. Share. Understand that I do these to really help you grow and inspire you to your next season and stepping into your divine power and purpose. And I know you can do this through the power of his love and his divine calling on your life. All right. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week. Take care.